Hello and welcome back to the Deep Dive. You are listening to a special edition of Snowcat Speaks English.
It's great to be here.
If you are a regular listener, you already know that we love taking these really big, sometimes complicated topics and just breaking them down piece by piece.
Mhm.
But today is a little bit different. We are getting, I think, a lot more personal.
Yes, very personal.
Mhm.
Because we're tackling a problem that I think, and I mean this seriously, literally every single person listening has faced at some point.
Yeah.
It really doesn't matter if you're a beginner or if you've been speaking for years.
Oh, yeah.
It's that moment, that feeling of panic when you have to meet someone new.
Oh, the panic, the sweaty palms, the heart beating so fast you can actually hear it in your ears.
Yeah.
We are talking specifically about how to introduce yourself in English.
Right, and we're not just talking about saying your name.
No.
Any textbook can teach you how to say, "My name is John." That's the easy part.
Mm.
We're talking about how to do it without that feeling like you just want to run away and hide somewhere.
Yes.
We're talking about how to make a real connection.
Exactly. And to help us sort of navigate through this, we're looking at a really interesting source text today. It's a transcript from a podcast, a show called English with Friends.
Mm-hmm.
And the hosts in that script are two characters, Sarah and Leo. Sarah is kind of the teacher figure in the dynamic. She's very supportive. Her explanations are super clear.
And Leo. Well, Leo is all of us.
Leo is us. He really is.
Leo is the learner. And what I absolutely love about this source material is that Leo is so honest. He admits to feeling things that I think most learners are way too embarrassed to say out loud.
He really is. He's so vulnerable. So our mission for this deep dive is to take that conversation between Sarah and Leo and extract a kind of roadmap from
A
it.
roadmap, I like that.
We're calling it the confidence map. The idea is that by the end of this hour, we want you, our listeners, to have a specific step-by-step plan for the next time you walk into a party, or a business meeting, or even just a coffee shop.
A map is the perfect metaphor, actually. Because when you get nervous, what happens? You get lost.
You do.
You lose your words, your thoughts are all jumbled. But if you have a map, you can just look down and follow the steps. 1, 2, 3. It simplifies everything.
Let's start with the problem itself then, because I think we need to really understand the feeling before we can solve it.
Mm-hmm.
In the source material, Leo mentioned something that made me laugh out loud, because it is just so true. He talks about his radio voice.
Oh, the radio voice.
Yes.
This is like the classic difference between practicing English and using it in reality.
Apparently.
Leo says he practices in his room, he talks to himself, and he sounds great. He sounds like this, perfect radio DJ inside his own head.
I do this all the time. I have these amazing full conversations with myself in the shower. I'm charming, I'm witty, my grammar is absolutely flawless.
Yeah.
And then I meet a real, living, breathing human being, and my brain just shuts down. It's like a computer screen going black. Leo says his mind goes completely blank.
And that phrase, completely blank, is so important. It isn't that you don't know the English. That's the frustrating part. You've studied for years. You know thousands of words.
Right.
But the anxiety, the nervousness, it acts like a wall between your brain and your mouth.
Leo uses this metaphor that I found really, really powerful. He says, it's like my English hides in a corner.
That is such a visceral image, isn't it? It's so clear.
Yeah.
Imagine your vocabulary is a person, right? When you're relaxed and comfortable, your vocabulary is standing right there next to you, just handing you the words you need. Here you go. Here's interesting. Here's absolutely.
Like a helpful assistant.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But when you get nervous, your vocabulary gets scared. It sees the new person, and it just runs and hides in the corner of the room.
And you're left standing there all alone.
Exactly. You're reaching for a word. You know it's there somewhere, but it's not there for you. It's hiding.
So if you are listening to this right now and you're thinking, oh my gosh, that's me. I am bad at English because I can't speak when I'm nervous. I want you to just stop.
Mm-hmm. Please stop that thought.
You are not bad at English. You are just experiencing a very, very normal psychological reaction. Even Leo in the source says he's lived in an English-speaking country for 2 years. He still feels this.
And Sarah, the teacher in the source, she validates this immediately. She doesn't say, oh, Leo, you need to study more.
No.
She says even native speakers get this. They call it the blank mind. The solution isn't to go home and memorize more grammar books. The solution is to have a structure, a system to lean on when your brain goes blank.
And that is exactly where the confidence map comes in. Sarah and Leo, they outlined 5 very specific steps. And I really want to go through these slowly, one by one, because the little details here really, really matter.
Let's do it.
Okay. Step 1. And this was, I have to say, pretty surprising to me. Step 1 has absolutely nothing to do with words. You don't even open your mouth yet.
No words at all. Step 1 is all about what Sarah calls the vibe.
The vibe. Body language. Sarah starts by asking Leo a question, a little thought experiment. She asks him to imagine a person at a party who is like looking down at the floor and whispers, "Hello."
We have all seen that person. Or, let's be honest, we have been that person. I know I have.
Oh, me too. And Leo's response is so telling. He says, they look like they want to disappear.
That is the key insight right there. When we're nervous, our biological instinct is flight. We want to escape the danger.
The danger being a new person.
The danger being a new person. So our body tries to make us small. We hunch our shoulders. We tuck our chin down into our chest. We avoid eye contact. We are physically signaling to the world, please don't see me, I'm not here.
Which is the exact complete opposite of what you want to do when you're trying to make a new friend.
Precisely. You cannot possibly make a connection if your entire body is screaming, go away.
Yeah.
So Sarah's first rule is incredibly simple, but it's foundational. Smile and eye contact.
Now, I have to play devil's advocate here for just a second. Smile. It sounds like such, I don't know, generic advice. It sounds like something my grandma would tell me. Just smile, dear. It'll all be fine. Is it really that important?
It is, but probably not for the reason you think.
Yeah.
It isn't just about being polite or looking nice. Sarah actually explains the physiology of it.
The physiology, you mean like the actual muscles?
Yes, exactly. Think about what happens to your face when you're stressed or nervous. Your jaw clenches up, your muscles get all tight, your throat constricts.
Right, I feel that. I feel tight everywhere. My shoulders are up by my ears.
Exactly. Now try to speak through a locked jaw and a tight throat. How does your voice sound?
It sounds small. It sounds squeaky. It definitely sounds nervous.
And it sounds cold, doesn't it? It sounds flat and unfriendly. Sarah explains that the physical act of smiling actually relaxes those facial muscles. It changes the whole shape of your mouth. It widens your oral cavity.
So you're saying it literally changes the acoustic sound of your voice?
It absolutely does.
Yeah.
It makes the voice sound warmer. Leo actually tries this in the podcast script. He forces himself to roll his shoulders back and put a smile on his face. And then he asks Sarah, can you hear the smile in my voice?
And Sarah said yes. She can actually hear it.
Of course. You can hear a smile over the phone. You can hear a smile on a podcast. It's a real physical change in the sound waves your voice is producing.
That is fascinating. So step 1 isn't just some vague advice to look friendly. It's actually a command to hack your biology.
Exactly. It's biohacking your introduction.
Yeah.
By forcing a smile, you are manually overriding your body's stress signal. You're telling your brain, hey, we're safe here, we're open, we're friendly. And that immediately changes how your voice sounds to the other person.
So the big takeaway for step 1 is, before you even think about saying a single word, do a quick body check. Are you looking at the floor? Are you frowning? Fix your posture. Take a breath. Smile. Establish the vibe first.
I am friendly, and I want to talk. That is the nonverbal message you send before you ever speak.
Okay, so we've established the vibe. We're smiling. We're making eye contact now. Now we actually have to say something. This brings us to step 2. The core. Your name and where you are from.
This seems like it should be the easiest part, right? Everyone knows how to say their name. But Sarah warns about a very specific trap here, a very common one for learners. She calls it the robot trap.
The robot trap. I loved this section of the source. Sarah gives Leo 2 options to say his name. Option A is, I'm Leo, and option B is, my name is Leo.
Now, if we're talking about grammar, both of those are 100% correct. If you write, my name is Leo on a test, your teacher gives you an A+.
But in a real conversation at the party.
In real conversation, my name is Leo can sound, well, it can sound a bit stiff, it's formal, it can feel a little distant.
Sarah says it sounds like a robot. I am Leo. Or wait, my name is Leo.
Good. It does a little bit. And this leads them to discuss the contraction I'm versus I am.
This is such a huge point for English learners. In school, in textbooks, we are so often taught the full form first. I am, he is, we are. It feels more proper or correct.
And it is proper. It's not wrong. But native speakers are, well, we're lazy. Or you could say we're efficient, depending on how you look at it.
I'd say efficient.
We use contractions constantly. Sarah, in the source, estimates that native speakers use about 90% of the time in a casual introduction.
So if you walk up to someone at a party and say very clearly, hello, I am Snowcat, you're actually signaling something that you probably don't intend to.
You're signaling rigidity. You're
Oh, okay.
signaling that you're reciting a memorized script from a textbook. It just creates this tiny, almost subconscious psychological distance between you and the other person.
Whereas I'm Snowcat just flows, doesn't it? It connects the words together.
Exactly. It has a natural rhythm to it. I'm free. It's quick. It's light. It's friendly. So the advice here is to really trust the contraction. Don't be afraid of it. It doesn't make you sound lazy or uneducated. It actually makes you sound more fluent and natural.
Okay, so we are actively avoiding the robot trap. We are going to say, I'm name. Great. What comes next is the where are you from part.
This is the second half of step 2. And again, there's a trap here. But this time, the trap is being too brief, too short.
Right. Usually people just say the country. Isn't that right? I'm from Brazil or I'm from Japan, and they just stop.
And that is factually correct, of course, but conversationally, it's kind of a dead end.
A dead end. Why do you say that?
Because you're putting all of the work on the other person. If you just say, I'm from Japan,
Right.
and then stop talking, the other person has to scramble to think of a good follow-up question. Oh, cool. Do you like sushi?
Right. They have to do all the heavy lifting to keep the conversation going.
Exactly. So Sarah suggests what she calls a level up strategy here. Level 1 is just the country. I'm from Italy.
Okay.
Level 2 is a bit better. City and country. I'm from Rome, Italy. But level 3. Level 3 is where the magic happens. She calls it the hook.
The hook. This is my favorite part of the entire strategy, I think. A hook is something you offer to the other person for their interest to catch on to. It's a built-in conversation starter.
Mm-hmm.
Sarah suggests this simple formula. I'm from country, but I live in current city now.
Let's just take a second to analyze why that simple sentence is so powerful. Let's use her example. I'm from Italy, but I live in London now.
Okay, so it immediately creates a little story. It's got a past and a present.
Yes. But more specifically, it actively invites questions. By saying, I live in London now, you are practically begging the other person to ask, oh, really?
Yeah.
How long have you lived here? Or what brought you to London? Or do you like it more than Italy?
You're making it easy for them to talk to you. You're being generous.
Generous. That is a great word for it. A good conversation is a generous one. You give the other person these little hooks so they don't have to work so hard to find something to say.
Leo practices this in the source. He tries a few different versions, and finally he lands on this one.
Hi, I'm Leo. I'm originally from Brazil, but I've been living in New York for 2 years.
And Sarah's reaction is to give that a 10 out of 10.
Because it's perfect. It tells us he's from Brazil, it tells us he's a New Yorker now, and it gives us a timeline, 2 years. There are so many things I could ask him about right now. Do you miss Brazil? Is New York very different from your hometown? Why did you decide to move?
The conversation has already started, and he's only said 2 sentences. That is the real power of adding a hook.
Okay, so just to recap, we've established the vibe with our body language. We have established the core, that's our name, our home, and a hook. So now we can move to step 3. This is the what you do part.
And this is the danger zone for a lot of learners. The dreaded job title.
Leo gets very anxious about this in the script. He says, my job title is hard to say in English.
Which is such a common problem. I mean, in the modern world, job titles can be ridiculous. Assistant Regional Vice President of Strategic Logistics and Supply Chain Optimization. Right. If you try to say that whole thing when you're nervous, you are absolutely going to trip over your own tongue.
You are. And honestly, even if you say it perfectly, nobody really knows what that means anyway.
So what is Sarah's advice for this?
Keep it general. Simplify. You do not need to give your official HR-approved job title.
She suggests really simple things like, I work in marketing, or I'm a student, I'm an engineer.
Simple is almost always better here. The goal of an introduction is not to give the other person your full resume.
Right.
It's just to give a general context of who you are. I work in sales is more than enough for a first meeting.
But wait, what about the question of not having a job? This is a really common fear, and Leo asks about it directly. What if I am unemployed?
That can be a really awkward moment for people. The phrase, I am unemployed, sounds negative. It sounds a bit like you're stuck, or like it's a sad situation.
And Sarah gives some fantastic reframing phrases for this. She suggests saying something like, I'm looking for a new challenge, or I'm taking some time to study English.
Those are just brilliant. Think about the difference in the energy. I am unemployed feels very passive, feels heavy, but I am looking for a new challenge is active. It implies you're moving forward. You're on a mission.
It totally changes the narrative from, I don't have a job, to, I am actively choosing my next step.
Exactly. But, and this is the biggest but of the entire episode, I think, Sarah says that your job is actually not the most important part of this step.
This is what she calls the secret sauce of the confidence map. It's the passion fact.
The passion fact. I think this might be the single most important tip for actually making friends, not just acquaintances.
Sarah says, and I'm quoting here, to be memorable, you need to be more than just a worker.
Think about it. If you go to a party, you might meet 5 different people who all say, I work in marketing. After an hour, they all just blur together in your mind. They're just the marketing people.
But if one other says, I work in marketing, but on the weekends I breed prize-winning poodles, you are definitely going to remember poodle person.
Laughs. You absolutely will remember poodle person, and you will probably have a lot of questions for poodle person.
So Sarah's advice is to add a hobby or a passion immediately after you say your job.
It just humanizes you. It takes you out of the economic box of your job and puts you into the human box.
Leo uses this technique in the script. He says, I work in sales, but my real passion is hiking. I try to go to the mountains every weekend.
And notice what happens immediately in the script. Sarah's reaction. She doesn't ask him a single question about sales. Sales can be boring. She immediately asks about the mountains.
She says, the conversation is starting to breathe. I love that phrase.
It's a poetic way to put it, but it's true. When you only talk about facts, your name, your country, your job, the conversation can feel like it's suffocating. It's dry and factual. When you introduce a passion, hiking, cooking, movies, whatever, the conversation gets oxygen. It suddenly comes alive.
It also creates a bridge between you. I might not know anything about your sales job, but I know what a mountain looks like. I can relate to the idea of hiking, even if I don't do it myself.
Sarah mentions another example in the source that I love, a serious banker who loves baking bread.
I love that one too. It creates such a great image in your head. The serious banker in a suit but covered in flour.
It creates a multi-dimensional picture of who you are as a person. So listeners, here is a challenge for you right now. What is your passion fact?
And it really doesn't have to be something crazy or exciting like skydiving or rock climbing.
No, not at all. It can be something really simple. I love trying new coffee shops. I'm a big fan of Marvel movies. I love cooking spicy food.
Just something that genuinely lights you up, something that makes you smile just a little bit when you say it.
Exactly. Because if you smile when you say it, chances are the other person will smile too.
Okay, let's just do a quick recap of where we are on our map. Step 1, the vibe with a smile. Step 2, the core, which is your name, your home, and a hook. And step 3, the what you do, which is your job, plus that all-important passion fact. Now, you've said all of this, you've put yourself out there. What happens next?
Step 4. And this is the point where so many learners and native speakers too crash and burn.
This is the tennis ball.
It is. Leo talks about his old enemy, the awkward silence.
Oh, we have all been there. It's the worst. You finish your sentence, I love hiking, and then you just stop. And the other person stares at you. You stare back at them. And the silence just grows and grows.
It's physically painful.
So why does that happen? What's going on there?
It happens because you held on to the ball. Sarah uses this wonderful metaphor of a tennis match. A good conversation is a game of back and forth. You hit the ball over the net, they hit it back to you.
But if you stop talking without asking a question, you're just standing there on your side of the court holding the tennis ball. The other person doesn't know it's their turn to hit it.
Right. They're waiting for a signal from you. So step 4 is simply this. Throw the ball back.
You have to ask a question, and Sarah really emphasizes that this doesn't need to be some complex, deep, philosophical question.
No, please don't do that. In fact, simple is way better. When you're nervous, you can't think of complex questions anyway. You need automatic questions that you can say without thinking.
She gives 3 what she calls golden phrases. Phrase 1 is, and you.
So simple. 2 words. You cannot possibly mess that up.
Phrase 2, how about you?
Also very natural, very common.
And phrase 3, what do you do?
A total classic. Safe and effective.
Why are these short, simple questions so effective?
Because they shift the spotlight. This is a crucial survival strategy for nervous speakers.
Yeah.
If you are terrified of speaking English, the absolute best thing you can do is make the other person speak.
That is such a good point. If I finish my bit and then I ask, how about you? Now you have to do the work. I can relax for a minute. I can take a breath. I can just listen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You are buying yourself a break. And guess what? People generally love to talk about themselves. If you ask them a question about their life, they will think you are a fantastic conversationalist, even if you only said 3 words.
So The tennis ball isn't just about being polite, it's a survival strategy. It takes all the pressure off of you.
Yes. Just keep the ball moving. Never, ever hold on to it.
Okay, so we have the 4 main steps of nap. I really want to put this all together now. In the source material, Sarah and Leo act out a full introduction from start to finish. I want us to perform it for the listeners, but then I want to break it down beat by beat using the steps.
I love that idea. Let's do it. I'll read Leo's part. You could be Sarah.
Okay, scene start. I walk up to you at a party. Hi there. I don't think we've met yet. I'm Sarah.
Hi, Sarah. Nice to meet you. I'm Leo. I'm from Brazil, but I moved here recently. I work in sales, and in my free time, I love cooking spicy food. How about you? What do you do?
Oh, wow. I love spicy food, but I can't cook it very well at all. You have to teach me. End scene.
That felt so different from the, my name is Leo, I am from Brazil, introduction.
It just flowed. It felt like a real-life conversation could actually start from that. So let's dissect it using the numbers, the steps from our map.
Okay, so Leo started with, hi, Sarah. Nice to meet you.
Oh,
That's the vibe.
Yeah.
We have to assume he was smiling when he said it.
right.
Then he said, I'm Leo. That's the name. Step 2. And notice, no, my name is. He used the contraction.
He avoided the robot trap.
Avoided the robot trap. Then he said, I'm from Brazil, but I moved here recently.
And that is the home plus the hook. Moved here recently. That just begs the question, oh, when did you move?
Yep. Then I work in sales.
Huh.
Step 3. A very simple, general job title.
Mhm.
No long, complicated explanation.
And then came the magic part.
And in my free time, I love cooking spicy food. The passion fact.
And finally.
How about you? The tennis ball, he hit it right back over the net.
And look at how I, playing Sarah, reacted. What was the one thing I jumped on from his whole introduction?
You jumped on the spicy food. You didn't care about the sales job or even Brazil. You connected with the passion.
This proves that the system works. It gives the other person these little grips, these little things to hold on to in the conversation.
And did you notice how confident Leo sounded in that role play? He wasn't improvising or panicking. He was just following a formula. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
He had the map.
He had the map. And when you have a map, you don't panic. You just look down and take the next logical step.
Now, there's one final crucial piece to this puzzle. We have the steps. But there's still that nagging fear in the back of Leo's mind. And honestly, it's in my mind too when I'm speaking another language.
Yeah, yes. The fear of making mistakes.
Yes. Step 5 is all about how to handle the inevitable screw-ups. Because they will happen.
They will. Leo asks a very specific, very vulnerable question. He says, what if I say I has instead of I have?
He is terrified of that one little grammar mistake. He's convinced that if he uses the wrong verb form, the other person will laugh at him or think he's stupid or just not understand him.
This is what Sarah calls the grammar police myth. We have this idea in our heads that everyone we talk to is walking around with a little red pen, just waiting to grade our sentences.
But Sarah drops a huge truth bomb here. She says, and I want to quote this exactly because it is so important. She says, nobody cares about your grammar as much as you do.
Let that sink in for a minute. Nobody cares about your grammar as much as you do.
She explains that in a normal social setting, people are not analyzing your verb conjugations. They are analyzing your energy, your friendliness, your vibe.
Sarah has a name for this concept. She calls it energy over grammar.
What does that mean in a practical sense?
It means that the feeling of connection is infinitely more important than grammatical perfection. If you say, I has a dog, but you say it with a big smile and genuine enthusiasm.
I am going to think, oh, cool, you have a dog. Tell me about your dog. I am not going to be thinking, error. Subject-verb agreement, error.
Exactly. My brain might notice the mistake for a tiny millisecond, but my heart doesn't care. I care that you are a friendly person. I care that you are sharing something about your life with me. The energy is what matters.
But what about the other fear? The fear of the missing word? Leo talks about that moment when you just freeze because you can't remember a specific vocabulary word.
That is the blank mind coming back to haunt you. And Sarah gives a really great kind of counterintuitive strategy for this. She says, don't hide it.
Don't hide the fact that you forgot the word.
No, own it. If you forget a word, just admit it. Say, oh, sorry, I forgot the word for this.
Or you can ask for help. Leo uses the example of a pot you cook with. He forgets the English word for pot. In his native Portuguese, it's panela.
And Sarah suggests he should just ask the other person, how do you say panela in English?
Now, I think some people might think that is so embarrassing. You're admitting you don't know something. You're showing a weakness.
But Sarah frames it completely differently. She says that asking for help in that moment, actually builds a connection.
How?
Because it makes the conversation real. It shows vulnerability, which makes you more human and relatable. And, maybe most importantly, it lets the other person help you.
And people love to help. It makes them feel good.
They do. If you ask me, how do you say this in English? I feel useful. I feel like a teacher for just a moment. It becomes this little collaborative moment between us. We are solving a tiny puzzle together.
So instead of standing there in that awful, awkward silence, just trying to force your brain to find a word that isn't there, you can just turn to the other person and say, help me out here.
Exactly. You turn a moment of potential failure into a moment of human connection.
So the final and maybe most important lesson of the confidence map is be brave enough to be imperfect.
Yes, it's energy over grammar. It's connection over perfection. Every single time.
This has been such an incredibly insightful deep dive. I honestly feel like we've really dismantled the fear of introductions and put something structured and useful in its place.
We have. We've taken this vague, scary thing, meeting new people, and we've turned it into a simple checklist.
Let's do a quick lightning round recap for our listeners. If you want to write this down on a sticky note and put it on your bathroom mirror, what are the 5 steps of the map?
Okay. Step 1. The vibe. Check your body. Smile. Make eye contact. Do all of this before you even speak.
Step 2. The start. I'm name. Remember to use the contraction. Avoid being the robot.
Step 3. The home. I'm from place. And don't forget to add the hook, but I live in this city now.
Step 4. The flavor. I'm a Job and I love hobby. Do not forget the passion fact. Be a human, not just a job title.
And step 5. The tennis ball. How about you? And you. Always throw the ball back to them.
And what's the overarching rule that covers all of these?
Don't let the fear of grammar stop you. Smile through the mistakes. Focus on the energy.
In the source materials, Sarah gives her listeners some homework. And I think we should give our listeners the exact same homework assignment.
Oh, absolutely. The homework is to write your own personal introduction script.
Don't just think about it in your head. Actually open a notebook or a document and write it down, sentence by sentence. Hi, I'm from Chapo. I work as a chapo, but I really love...
Writing it down makes it real. It solidifies it. It takes the chaos that's in your brain and puts it into an organized structure on paper.
And then, what do you do once you've written it?
Then you practice. And you use Leo's tip. Do it in the mirror.
Look at yourself in the mirror. Practice the smile. Practice the eye contact with your own reflection. Practice the transition from talking about your job to talking about your passion.
It might sound silly, but muscle memory is a real thing. If your mouth gets used to forming these sentences when you're alone and relaxed, they will come out much more automatically when you're in a real nerve-wracking situation.
Sarah ends her episode with this beautiful quote that has really stuck with me since I read it. She says, "Confidence is a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets."
That is the absolute truth. You cannot sit at home and wait for confidence to magically appear one day. It doesn't work like that. You have to build it, rep by rep, introduction by introduction.
Every single time you introduce yourself using this map, even if it feels scary, you are doing one repetition. You are getting just a little bit stronger.
Exactly.
So, listeners, here's our final challenge to you. The next time you see a stranger, maybe it's at a coffee shop, maybe at a bus stop, maybe in an online class, don't let your English hide in that corner.
Drag it out into the light, put a smile on your face, and just say, "Hi, I'm..."
You never know what could happen. You might just meet your new best friend, or at the very least, you will realize that you can do this.
You really can.
Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Snowcat Speaks English. We really hope this map guides you to some amazing conversations.
It has been a real pleasure. Good luck out there and have fun with it. See you next time.